I vote no. Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now Denisha saying she can't hear us either.
Might have to run it back.
Sounds like they said it sounds like Sam muted. Lawrence, can you hear everybody else? Is it only Sam?
What a change of events. Sam's a quiet one. Is it only Sam? What a change of events. Sam's a quiet one. Yeah, it looks like Sam's the only one muted right now. Me and Tony came through. Brian, you want to say something?
Yeah.
I hear Brian.
Yep, Brian's there.
It's only Sam.
So can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're good now. Oh, the fun.
Okay, they say they can hear you now.
We're talking about it's a blessing not to hear me. Everybody want to hear my voice.
Oh.
But I did
We're
say,
talking smack.
What? In fairness, I did say that I was actually going to kind of sit back on this. I'm gonna let Brent kind of run this one, and he's got all the notes. He's studied up and ready to turn it over to him. How did the intro look? If nothing else, let me just get this little bit out real quick. At this point, everybody should know who everybody is. Our logo, this man right here created our logo. So the new revised, pretty beautiful black logo that we have, the GAG logo, that looks just so good.
Looking good. Looking good.
He made
Shameless
that.
plug.
So I want to make sure that he knows. Everybody knows that he made that, and I appreciate what he did. The gentleman that's in conversation right here, Lawrence. Lawrence has been working with me to improve our visuals. So that nice little trailer at the beginning, that's Lawrence. So I want to give a shout out to him for that. Thank you so much for that. But I'm going to turn it over now. Brent, we are talking DC Fandome. There were a lot of things discussed at the DC Fandome, and a lot of good things. So if you're a DC fan, you had a whole event dedicated to all the upcoming merchandise material that DC has in store. Movies, TV shows, video games, etc. And a lot of it's because, like, since we didn't have San Diego Comic-Con this year, probably not going to have Dragon Con this year, we don't get those same panels that we would normally get where stuff is being introduced. Real quick, I'd just like to say, I think being able to showcase everything at one event for one company, much like we've seen now with PS4, with Xbox, like we used to have E3. When everybody just started doing their own thing, you get a whole day dedicated to just their content so they can spend more time on it. They don't have to split their time up. They don't have to divide their time. And I think it really gives us an opportunity to enjoy more of the content, and they're excited to show it more. So I wouldn't be shocked if we, moving forward, see a lot more events like this. So DC Fandome. Take it away, Brent.
Well, honestly, I have to say, from more of a casual fan than most DC fans, I absolutely loved everything I saw from DC. Wonder Woman 84, that new Batman trailer, the Black Adam trailer, and we can't talk about the Snyder Cut, so that's another talk for another day.
We can tap it, but we're not gonna dwell on it.
And then we got Gotham Knights, which was a very, very nice review. I'm very hyped for that.
Yes.
And then Justice League, Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, which honestly struck me as very much Borderlands-esque, but DC. Anybody else get that vibe about that video?
I did. I got a chance to review. I kind of went back and reviewed a lot of the trailers today just to kind of, be fresh and get excited about it all over again. And I did not see a lot in terms of the gameplay, but the cinematic trailer and whatnot definitely does remind me a lot of what you see when you're watching all the cutscenes in Borderlands, especially like the intro. I didn't see anybody say catch a ride, but it felt like it could have gone anywhere in there and it would have worked. The character selection definitely seems like that's going to be a big plus. It looks like it should have a decent roster. With want to say, saw what?
King Shark, Captain
King Shark.
Boomerang, Harley Quinn, and then
Deadshot.
Deadshot. Now, I noticed, and they may not be playable characters, but that zipline gun guy, he was just like, because like Deadshot had on the jetpack, and he was flying around everywhere, shooting. Captain Boomerang seemed like he had some sort of lightning-esque effect, kind of trailing, and I mean, I'm sure it's just visuals, but he had that. Harley Quinn, of course, with her acrobatics. King Shark, he's just strong and he's jumping everywhere like Hulk would, bounding, if you will. But I saw somebody with like grapple guns going from building to building to building. And all I could think about was the dude from this first Suicide Squad movie that died first. He's like, look, I'm getting out of here. And was out. Like, so if he's in there, I think there may be, a few more unlockables, some playable characters, whatnot. And it looks like one key thing about that game, and this can actually tie in when we discuss Gotham Knights, the Suicide Squad game is actually the game that takes place in the Arkhamverse. I'm tired of everything being verse, but it takes place in the Arkhamverse. So all the Dark Knight, all the Arkham Asylum games and things like that, that same Harley Quinn is the one in this Suicide Squad game. This is taking on that story.
Thing to see what they do with the whole timeline.
Well, I mean,
we got Brainiac in the background, and we had Superman just absolutely eviscerating people for who knows what reason.
Well, he's mind controlled.
Brainiac?
Yeah, they're all mind controlled by Brainiac.
Okay, I did not catch that in the trailer. I was more looking for just. I needed to study up on King Shark because I'm not uber familiar with that.
Well,
King Shark he's a solid character, but yeah,
they used him really well in the Harley Quinn television series that was on the DC Universe app. So the DC Universe, they have like a whole show, 2 seasons, Harley Quinn. Really, really good show. And King Shark was like, he's the main character on that, and he was quite enjoyable. I know who does the voice actor for him, but he was really good. I could definitely tell that they use the same voice actor for Harley Quinn in this one, who had been in all the previous games. So that's a nice little tie-in. And of course, it brings up the question, as I saw we were talking in our thread. Batman is dead. If this stays in the same...
Allegedly.
Right, okay, right, allegedly. But given that this stays in the same universe, correct me if I'm wrong, but in that last one, he had the Joker toxin and whatnot, and that's why he was kind of like losing it, and like, that's it. That's a wrap for him. And so Gotham Knights is actually a multiverse story because it takes place somewhere else. Gotham Knights
Right.
is not
Right.
this Arkham verse, so it's not really connected to the previous Arkham games.
Right.
Right.
It's its own universe. This has nothing to do with any of the previous games that DC has done, which I don't know how it's going to work because I would like to see somehow it connect just because I want to see Bruce come in as a Talon in the Court of Owls. I think that would be just great. And then that connects everything. But if it's not going to connect, then you just wasted the Court of Owls over here, and now you can't bring them over here.
Actually, you could bring it over, and I'm noticing that just in a general sense, the one thing I kept hearing about as I was watching through the different segments, the different interviews, everybody's talking about these multiple universes. DC is fully exploring what they can do with multiverse, and they are running with that ball. They've done it in the past with Infinite Crisis, Crisis on Infinite Earths, um, and then the story Kingdom Come. In fact, a lot of their Elseworld stories are basically always viewed as just being a, like as Barry was, it's a different timeline, so to speak. Or in this case, it's
Right.
just it's a different universe. So you have Earth 1, Earth 21, Earth 19, Earth 26. And then of course it comes down and you've got Earth Prime. And it's no different than with another company that has that as well, where they have multiple universes and different things happen in one universe that are the same, and then things happen that are completely different. And so those universes moving back and forth as they do, it kind of flows. So I don't see why they couldn't use Court of Owls in another story because it's a different universe.
It's at least nice to see DC try and reach out and grab the ball that they have and try and make something with it because they have so much amazing content. We all as fans just want to see it proudly displayed in a visually pleasing and easy to play game. And the
Right.
fact that they are embracing co-op so much in all their games looks absolutely stunning. I love the fact that they were doing combos. Who was it? Batgirl to Robin? Tim Drake,
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Yeah, that has to be Tim Drake.
Yeah, I
I was
think
going
that
to say,
was
I didn't hear any crying, so it wasn't Damien.
I like Damien.
I like
I'm
telling
I
you.
like newer Damien. I
Damien
like
needs to
Super
roll
Sons
up.
Damien.
No, Damien needs to roll up once he find out Bruce is dead. And be like, look, all this is mine now. Y'all can leave, and he just roll up.
And you know what? If you
I
watch
need that.
what was the animated Batman versus Robin? That was pretty
Yeah,
much what he did. He walked in and he looked at Nightwing. He was like, "Okay, you can go."
he did. It's that attitude. He's like, I'm the real son. You're just the play one. This is mine. It's like that's how you do it.
And then properly got his butt handed to him by Nightwing. But
I wait a minute. Wait a minute.
I give Damien props for like holding his ground.
Damien is 3 feet tall.
That's his fault.
Nightwing is a grown man, and
That's his fault.
he hung with him. It's
I-
like me fighting you because you a midget. That's not fair.
And you were clearly an old man, so
That is true.
we'll see how
So
that
it might
goes.
be even.
I would just have to shave a little bit, then I'd be a little bit younger. But no, I think Damien would be like a good DLC character to incorporate. Bring him
Yeah.
in later.
The only thing that I saw from the trailer that I was like, all right, what the heck is going on is we only saw the Court of Owls briefly, and the only other villain that was touched upon was Mr. Freeze. Did
Well,
we see any other villains pop through?
I
No, I don't
recall
think they were
seeing-
going to show everything.
Yeah, given that was their alpha playthrough footage. Um, I mean, the game looks really good even for alpha footage. It doesn't seem like it's quite ready for them to release and do beta testing. I don't know how much more coding they have to do. I don't know how much is left for them to, because that was like a nice whole level we got to see, and right up to the boss fight and everything, very impressive. The character models look really good. The very first thing that threw me off when I saw that, and I think this was before they had announced the Suicide Squad game, I was thinking to myself, didn't we have Oracle
We had Oracle wheelchair in the other Arkham ones,
So
but
when I
that's
saw
probably why
Batgirl
they had to
run
go
around, I was
different
like, okay,
universe.
wait, what? Huh?
Fixed her spine out of nowhere. She be good.
I mean, that's why it's another universe. All that probably never happened.
Exactly. See, but you know what? Even and there again, that's one of those things that has plagued DC for a long time. Is they have like Batman himself has like 5 different comic titles, and
Right.
trying to canonize everything from 5 different comics, you can't do it. And so, you take something like The Killing Joke, which is supposed to be a one-off, but you have to canonize it because now you have Oracle, who's a recurring character, and at the same time, how is Barbara Gordon? She was Batgirl, but now she's Oracle. And they've kind of gone through and fixed that, but a lot of times they run into those issues because they have maybe 3 different titles with a single character. And for those of you who may have actually watched DC Fandome, that was one of the first things. I believe it was Jim Lee, and I apologize, I can't remember the other 2 guys' names, but it was one of the first interviews they were doing. It was showing, hey, he made it. He should be on it just a second. Will's in the waiting room. Try to bring him in.
Awesome.
Shout out to him for all of his thread yesterday. He put a lot of work in there. Put 7-8 hours of content up for us.
Yeah, everything that dropped will drop for us.
And he kept me informed because I was at work the whole day, and because of his post, I was able to stay up to date with what was going on and know when good content. Like, oh wait, I didn't need to take a quick break, go outside and watch this video, and okay, we can come back. So yeah, shout out to him for that. And okay, he's in here. He just
actually, there's.
He'll jump in for a second.
I believe he's muted right now.
Oh,
no, he's not in video. He'll be in. Y'all know Will. He'll be here.
All right. One thing I should add though, for everyone who is watching, don't forget too that was only day 1 of the DC Fandome. Hey, Will.
What up?
Yeah,
he's rocking the Batman too.
Yeah, he is. So
okay, this is only gonna
that
happen
was only
once.
First of all, everybody just let them know
the memo.
what it's about. It's about. That's what it's about.
Okay.
Martha.
I see. All right. Well, I'm the odd man out. I don't have a Batman shirt on today. I got a Supernatural shirt on. But...
That's not acceptable right now.
All right. Well, I'll try to do better next time.
It all made Sam have to go change. Really?
On like a Superman jersey or something. He'll come out with cape and everything.
Yeah,
as long as he comes out, as long as he don't come out in tights, I'm fine.
Comes out in tights, we're all just logging off in unison. There's nothing else we can do at that point.
I agree.
But Will, we gave you a shout out. Thank you for that thread yesterday. That kept me up to date at work.
Not a problem. Doing what I could. I figured, y'all could actually thank Mr. Chris Terry said that because he personally asked me to try and keep up to date because he was going to be on the road or something like that. So I was like, cool. Like, I'll just remember to make a thread and I'll tag you in it so that just so I can keep everybody up to date. So he gave me the idea for it, and I just want to make sure it got going. So
awesome.
Looky here. Look at this.
Oh, it's the Unity shirt. Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman.
Big it's still Batman in the front though, so it is what it is.
You know how marketing works. Got the big man up front.
That's right.
All right. Yeah. So for everyone who's watching, don't forget that was just day 1 of the DC Fandome. So there will be a second date where they're going to be announcing even more stuff on September 12th. And I will likely be doing another Zoom call on that.
Can you just imagine what day 2 is going to have?
Because day 1 did not disappoint.
Day 1.
Yeah, I believe day 2 is going to have mostly other TV stuff. So if you're a fan, of like I guess of the stuff on the CW, stuff taking place on the DC Universe app, and so on, they'll have information on that for us on September 12th.
So Titans, Flash. What else they got running right now?
Black Lightning, Legends of Tomorrow, um, Stargirl. Is that the name of the show? Yeah.
Stargirl
Stargirl.
just wrapped
Right.
up season one. Swamp Thing, if they continue on, you've got
Yeah, it's continuing. Yeah.
Aren't they going to make a Static Shock? Isn't that like rumored to be the next thing they're
That's the
working on?
rumor. That's the
Yeah.
rumor.
Yeah.
We need that. That was a damn good show.
Yeah.
now.
That'd be nice.
I did see today that one of the next animated movies that's coming up is Long Halloween.
Ooh.
That is without a doubt one of the better, uh, definitely top 10 Batman story, maybe even top five. Um, Long Halloween is a really, really good Batman story, and that's going to be one of the next animated movies. They did find that. It's just you can just find everything that DC's doing right now. They're just leaking it left and right, making sure that it's out there and people know that they're doing some stuff. Um, was there anything else on? Let's see. So we have Gotham Knights, got the co-op gameplay, and from what if I remember correctly, they said Gotham Knights. The entire game was designed to be played co-op from beginning to end. So it won't just be.
I just
I
need a
believe so,
partner.
yeah.
I just need a partner.
Oh, we're going to be streaming it. There's no way that Grown A Geeks would not cover that in some faction. We have to do something.
Oh, yeah, we got to.
And given the Gotham Knights and then Suicide Squad, that one obviously designed as a co-op gameplay. Another one that
Look,
would be very, very.
I got dibs on Nightwing and Harley. I'm just saying, respectively.
Nightwing and Harley. Okay.
I think me and Tony are going to have to fight over Red Hood.
Yeah, we're gonna fight over that one. I claim Red Hood off the bat. That's mine.
All right, I'll go Tim Drake. I'll do some Drake.
But yeah, acting like Batgirl wasn't whooping ass in that game. I would gladly play Batgirl. Like,
That's fine.
She was the one setting up the combo, so she got her moment.
I'm just saying, if we had to assign characters, me and Red Hood fit together. That's just it.
You just like
That's-
shooting people?
Basically, if I got to. I mean, don't let the background fool you. I do own some. They're just not out.
I expect nothing less.
You know what I'm saying? Expert in everything.
So Brent,
Okay.
we got the two games out. What else was some of the juicy tidbits?
The juicy tidbit that really got me was the Batman trailer. We finally got to see Robert Pattinson as Batman.
You know what?
And
I will say that I'm kind of leaning toward liking him now. I am, but they got to keep it going because I'm still not sold 100%, but it's more 50-50 now because it was like 90-10, did not like. Now it's like 50-50, like, okay, wait a minute. It looks kind of good.
I wonder if they're gonna keep the brutality that he had in that one dude he hit. Is that gonna be the tone through the whole thing? Like, I'm with it.
If it is, then
Honestly,
yeah, that's it.
It makes sense given that, Batman, the original, first couple of Detective Comics, Batman was shooting people. You know what I'm saying? He was like throwing people off cliffs. Joker probably died like 10 times in those first couple of instances where he was seen. So they had no problem with Batman being a killer. And then they slowly toned it down and changed his backstory and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I do like, even if you go back and you read Frank Miller's Year One, and this is another one of those moments, I apologize, but when you read the comics, you find out Batman had to learn that he was a well-trained weapon. And he could not just go out willy-nilly because he'd kill somebody. And that was counterproductive to what he wanted to do. And he actually injured himself multiple times trying not to kill people. There's a whole segment where he's trying to stop some thieves. He kicks somebody. They don't really, they're not prepared for it. Kicks them over the rail. He then grabs the guy, tries to save him. While he's doing that, other guy's like banging him in the head with a television. So yeah, the brutality at this early in the game, I could definitely see it being there for the entire movie.
As long as they keep it in light with a detective noir, with like a little bit of darkness to it,
Right.
I can see Pattinson pulling this off.
Because he's not buff at all.
No,
But-
he's the one Batman who refused to
To
get
work out.
You know
Right.
what? It kind of fit like okay when he
Adam
walked
West
in
workout.
when they showed that one.
First of all,
segment,
Adam West gets a pass. Adam West
First
gets
of all,
a pass.
Adam West always said it was all him in that uniform. Don't ever forget that, dude.
Now,
we don't,
we know
speak
he was
bad on
talking
Adam
about.
West.
Maybe he was talking about the uniform. Maybe he was talking about something else. I don't know. But
It don't matter. What he
he has
said,
always been very clear.
He said what he
Burt
said.
He
Ward.
said it's all me.
Look, him
That's
and
what he
Burt
said.
Ward were saying like, that's
like,
it is
that's
what it
us.
is.
We
It
had
is what it
no
is.
prosthetics. None.
So it was like, come on down, come party with us. We got you. But I was actually kind of like the first few times that we've seen the suit in some of the still images, they have the one of him on the motorcycle and stuff like that. And then we got like the half shadow teaser image. Seeing him actually like in that room with the detectives and everything, like with the police force, when he kind of walked up and stuff, it was like, yeah, that's somebody who's just starting out and hasn't quite figured out what it is he needs to do. Now, this is just like a little throwback. Come Justice League, when he wants to remind you every 10 minutes that he's been doing this for 20 years, yeah, he done learned he need to pack on some weight. He can't walk in there and be the thinnest stick in the room. That's not intimidating. Ain't nobody scared of that.
They did state early on that most of what they're going to be doing is this is like early on origin story for him, Penguin, the main villain's Riddler, and then they got a little bit of Catwoman in there.
Okay.
I would
This was mentioned briefly.
I would not have been upset if they wanted to show more of Catwoman in the trailer. I couldn't really like I didn't know what is she, why is she there, what is she doing?
Stealing.
Can we
Never
speak,
stop stealing.
can we speak on how great Penguin actually looked?
Yeah, he looks
Considering
good.
the actor, who that was, I had no idea until I had to actually go back and Google and be like, wow.
He looked
Right.
he looked really good. I really like the way that they did that. Like we've come a long way.
Yeah.
And that is, see, it's almost like that is Oswald Cobblepot. I don't even know that that's Penguin yet. Like, that's how well it was. Like, it would do wrong to call him Penguin because it would make you think of someone else. He is currently just Oswald Cobblepot. And he is someone totally different than who you thought. And
He's
hopefully
supposed to be
they go
minor
with
in
something
this
like
one.
the Arkham Oswald. You know what I'm saying? Where he's a little bit more,
Mhm.
a little bit more gangster. I think they have a good enough actor for that. He could pull that part off. So I'd like to see that.
Okay.
How do you feel about
Commissioner
Batman with the
Gordon?
nightshade, though? How was that?
You know,
I mean, it makes sense because
Because he looked a lot like Winter Soldier, though. That
But if
was
you
my
think
one critique,
his-
is like Nightwing
his
and Winter
cowl-
Soldier.
think if his cowl always had the owls. I think Michael Keaton was the same way.
Yeah.
He had
it's one of those things where like they're going for just a little bit of realism, and I'm okay with it because it's practical.
it's
He
logic-
takes
it's
off that
logical.
helmet and whatnot. If he doesn't have eyeshadow, like so, what you just walk around with two black eyes all the time? How's that work? Because otherwise, you put on any kind of domino mask, you can see under the mask. So,
Right.
you know, he's got a full cowl and whatnot, but you can still see his eyes. So yeah, I like that
Right.
they at least addressed why and how. Maybe they picked up a cue from Watchmen. If you watch the TV series, you know what I'm talking about.
Mhm. Okay.
We're using that Watchmen as a segue. Is that where we're going with that? Hallelujah.
No, because see, that would take me into the Snyder Cut. We're not doing that. So,
we are.
Batman, final thoughts.
Just-
Anything,
just say it was
anything
great.
anybody else want to point out about the Batman? You were saying it was
I
90-10.
would say-
You were saying it was 90-10. did
At
not
first,
like, and now 50-50.
at first,
I'm going to go.
it's about, I would say 50-50.
I'm going to say 60-40. I'm feeling 60-40. Like, I want to see this movie now.
but that's not. That's not, I'm going to see it because it's a Batman movie, but I
Man, that
wasn't
was
hard pressed to
no,
see it
no, it
because
goes on my must see list at 60
it
40.
was it was Twinkle Toes Batman, and I wasn't sold on him. It's like
70-30 for me.
That
I gotta see
was
it.
Lego Batman. He was sparkling.
he was like Bedazzled Man. So I'm sorry. I'm no, I'm not. No, I'm lying. Can we just say Polka Dot Man is gonna be my favorite villain? I just want to put that out
Polka Dot Man.
there. Yeah, he's gonna be my.
You know
What's
Did
Polka
you
Dot
not?
Man gonna do?
Did you not know about his polka dots? He
No, I
has
know what
polka
Polka Dot
dots
Man. That's the
that
thing.
flies. They help him fly. He got polka dots that'll cut you in half.
That's
He
the
got all kinds
question
of
that I've
things.
been getting all day on freaking Facebook and stuff like that. Polka Dot Man. What is Polka Dot Man? Like, y'all don't understand.
Polka Dot Man is useful. He's not like Condiment King, who has no purpose in life whatsoever except to make your food taste good. That's his only purpose.
He can squirt you with ketchup or mustard or mayonnaise.
Polka Dot Man got some killer gadgets. He does.
You
He's
know what?
just
And it was
silly
funny
looking.
because even in the one little cute, you know what? We're just gonna segue right into the Suicide Squad with James Gunn.
Yes.
Definitely interested in seeing that movie. And when they were doing the little trivia question thing and whatnot, it was actually brought up as an interesting point that Polka Dot Man might have as many weapons as
Batman.
Bloodsport. What's Idris Elba's character?
That's Bloodsport.
Bloodsport.
And you know, Pete Holmes is actually looking pretty good in character. Like every time I see, Pete Davidson, not Pete Holmes. But Pete Davidson is. I don't know. Last time we saw him, he had just broke up with Ariana Grande, and things weren't all that. You know, he wasn't looking too hot. I don't think he was on Saturday Night Live anymore, but he's in his movie, and he actually, okay, looks pretty good as a. God, there's just so many characters. The Black Guard, I think it is. John Cena. His
He
character.
was a surprise. I didn't see him. Literally, I didn't see him. So that's something I didn't expect to have John Cena in the movie for that. So
Look, he's not on Drax's level of not seeing. So
well, I mean, he's like because John Cena to me, he's the Rick Flag type character, like always. So it's still a good fit where he's going and stuff like that. I just again wasn't expecting him to show up. So that's a big surprise.
So can we go back to Polka Dot Man and how he's just gonna be underrated?
But see, like you just discredited Javelin when you say that, like because Javelin.
First of all, he throws toothpicks. I don't care about all that. Let's talk about Polka Dot Man and his flying buzzsaw polka dots. Let's talk about that.
He has a ton. He has a lot of polka dots.
I don't think we need to elaborate on Polka Dot Man. I think you've done it enough.
Oh.
I think you've done a great job.
Let's just say how fun it is to say Polka Dot Man.
Polka Dot Man.
It's pretty fun to say.
You know what? They did also say not to get too attached. So
Yeah.
you think?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If Polka Dot Man dies in the opening credits, I'm calling you and I'm laughing my ass off.
First of all, if Polka Dot Man dies in the opening scene, I'm making a petition. We starting this all over again. This
It's already a reboot.
Called Suicide Squad.
No. I need him to make it at least halfway through one of these stupid polka dots, like one hit the little glider one he used that he flies. I need to see it. As long as I see him fly with the little glider polka dot, I'm good. I don't care about nothing else. He can throw one at somebody, cut him in half, and then he can blow up all I care. But I gotta see him fly around and kill people. So yeah.
If someone's gonna kill him with his own polka dots.
That's a possibility because I don't know what fighting skill he has except polka dots. So at least he's not Corduroy Man or something stupid. He got usefulness.
How do you guys feel about a James Gunn saying that this is the biggest movie he's ever made?
They were talking about the sheer number of explosions, the CGI that's in it, all of the animations they have, and thinking that this man has done Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2.
Right, exactly, yeah.
And
still got 3 on the way.
Is bigger. Like that is amazing. And I kept thinking as he just kept saying over and over and over how much he loved working on this movie, how this was just so great.
I felt like that was shots at Disney.
Those were definitely shots for getting fired.
Right. I was like, oh, somebody's big mad. Like, I was like, you know what, James? I ain't even mad at you, bud.
Because they wouldn't have. I mean, he wouldn't have been on that freaking if he hadn't gotten let go in the first place.
Right.
I mean, he said he had the best cast he's ever worked with, and
ever worked with. He said that like 3
I
times.
mean, look, he got his brother and he stole freaking Yondu. All right,
Yeah.
so
Michael Rooker's in it. Still got Sean Gunn, who's playing Weasel. Another
playing
mocap.
Weasel, Rocket. He's gonna have a whole freaking list of zoo animals on his freaking resume.
You know, that brought up an interesting point. As we were looking through, somebody say Takia? Tiki? Wait,
Taika Waititi?
Thor Ragnarok director?
He's
Korg.
amazing. I
Just
can't say
Korg.
his name.
Everybody knows Korg.
Korg. Okay, so the guy who played Korg, and I feel bad because I should be able to say his name at this point. But the guy who played
There's
Korg
Brian.
and directed the movie, he's actually listed in the cast but uncredited. So since you see an image of King Shark but nobody there, I'm guessing they're probably going to do something and use him as the voice actor for King Shark, which would be
That would make sense.
that would be pretty good because he's very comical,
I could see that.
and we would get a Korg-like character who would just have some beautiful quips and one-liners to say and throw in, and
All thing he has to say is King Shark is a shark. That's all he got to say.
As long as he doesn't do Baby Shark, we're good.
I'm a shark. You know what? If they do a Baby Shark song, I'm gonna be real upset. Now they can pick fun and they can joke about it, and he can say how he hates that song, but he better not sing it.
What if he walks around just singing Baby Shark?
No.
What if he
Somebody
just does it?
no. It should come on the radio. Like they should walk in somewhere and it comes on the radio or it's playing, and he like takes out that freaking gun and just like shreds the whole area and be like, "Fuck that song." I go for that.
I can get behind that.
I'm with that. That would make a good scene. That would make a good scene.
Okay.
But Suicide Squad, somebody pointed. I want to point Jeff out for this one. He was like, "How is Courtney Jott still getting work?" He is back as Captain Boomerang, and I think it's going to be interesting. Margot Robbie, she comes back as Harley Quinn. They couldn't get Will Smith back as Deadshot, so now they have Bloodsport, Idris Elba, who
Took a D-list character, put him on an A-list actor, and like we're gonna see what happens.
either it
I don't
will
know.
I
rise
like
that
that they didn't
character
recast
up.
Deadshot. I like that they just kind of let it go and went a different direction with it. Even though it is a reboot, according to everything, so that it's a reboot. So it's like it never happened. So
Yeah. Were there any other major notes for Suicide Squad other than James Gunn just raving on it and going on and on and on about how this was the best crew and it's the biggest budget and it's just the biggest film he's done? I mean, he actually got me excited to see Suicide Squad. And I'm like, I've seen this movie and yet I still kind of want to see it again now for the first time. So,
Did they reveal anything about the plot moving forward, or
You
is
know,
that
I was gonna.
ambiguous?
Well, I was gonna ask about that because in the I guess in the clips that they were showing, they were saying that it takes place in like 1970s wartime. So
Yeah.
my question is, does it actually take place in the 70s?
that's what I was trying to figure out. That's what I wanted to try and get answered and stuff like that, but I haven't found anything to shed light on it. Like it's been bugging me. So
It's all fan rumors at this point. I was trying to dig for it,
Okay.
hoping someone found something.
Right. I got you.
Well-
All right.
one, just a side note to that, when he was asked by one of the fans, had he read Suicide Squad, he actually mentioned that he went back and he read the original run of Suicide Squad, which actually did take place in the 70s. And the writer, Osterman, I think his name was, he actually came on set, was giving pointers, tips, talking about the character, the story, etc. So it does lend a lot of credibility that this will take place in terms of timeline when they want it to. Since if it is in fact free of the other movie, then they can go do whenever they want to go and do.
Speaking of going back in time, how about that Wonder Woman 84?
Wait a minute. Side
Yeah.
note. Side note about the Suicide Squad
All
and
right.
Polka Dot Man. And I
Shameless
want to
plug.
see.
Oh,
I
this
just
polka dot.
I just want to know how he's going to use. He's going to pull his baseball bat out. What part of the body it's going to come out of? Because if they
It's
don't do
coming
it
out of
right,
his ass. It's coming
that's
out of his
not.
ass.
There's
Hey,
there's
They're gonna go for the
one
whole
big
Ant
polka
Man
dot
moment.
in the
It's
back.
going up there.
I'm
There's a
saying
big polka
but
dot in the back.
he's not athletic, so I don't know why he would need a baseball bat at all. So, but that's the last thing I had about him for now.
Yeah,
I might.
actually, you know what? We may not even find out because he might die in the first 5 seconds of the film.
Listen
So,
here.
so
First of all,
See, you've made a mistake. You've already gotten attached to Polka Dot Man. It's
I
the
wouldn't
Suicide
say
Suicide
Squad.
Squad.
Don't get
You
attached.
can't
I
get
wouldn't say
attached.
I wouldn't say it's attachment. I like seeing the obscure villains show up.
Polka Dot Man, the
it's gonna
solo
be that
Is
movie.
choir dude
obscure.
all over again in the first Suicide Squad movie.
Think about all the obscure. You got Kite Man, Polka Dot Man. Come on
You know
now.
what? Kite Man's big right now.
He
Like, do not get it
is.
twisted.
That's what I'm saying. You got to have these D and F list characters come up. Some of them are Z list, negative zone type characters.
right, right. Okay, but yeah, but now we can actually jump 10 years from the '70s into the '80s
Mm-hmm.
and touch upon Miss Wonder Woman 1984. We all saw the trailer. So my question to you guys is, based on what you saw in the trailer, what do you think you're going to enjoy most about the film? I think for me, based on what I saw, I'm probably going to enjoy the humor a lot, especially seeing Scott having to deal with, having to be in the 80s. I think that's going to be quite funny, just based on the scenes I've seen, like when he was trying on clothes, you know,
Oh, Trevor.
talking about the parachute. Yeah, yeah, you know,
Parachute pants.
yeah, yeah. So, that line was funny, and I can only assume that there's going to be a lot more dialogue like that of him, just coming to terms with the 80s. So I think that's going to be super funny to watch. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm kind of curious as to how they're going to be doing, what's his face? Maxwell Lord. I'm kind of curious to see how he's gonna go. I mean, I'm more familiar with him in the comics, the storyline where he took over Superman's mind, and then
Right.
the woman had to kill him, and then yep, yep, and then I guess she was taken away by the police or whatever. So I'm kind of curious as to how the film is going to touch upon that, and then also, of course, a Cheetah. My only problem though with having two villains or more than one villain in any movie is that once you do that, I always feel like one villain is basically gonna overshadow all the other. And I feel like, one of the villains aren't gonna have adequate screen time and we're not really gonna get to know just, a secondary villain as much because, there's a main one that's taking up too much of the screen time. So I can only hope that Cheetah, will definitely get the respect that she deserves because she is a pretty big character in the comic books as well. So I'm hoping that she's just not tossed to the sidelines, in favor of Maxwell Lord.
And Maxwell Lord is Pedro Pascal,
Yeah.
Mandalorian.
Hmm.
That is correct. With the two villains, I am very excited to see Cheetah because of all of the foes that Wonder Woman has, and it's not like she's one of these people who just has this huge rogues gallery that's exclusive to her. There's not a Cheetah is perhaps one of the few characters that you think of when you think of a Wonder Woman villain. Like if Wonder Woman's gonna fight somebody, you think of like Giganta, you think of
Ares.
Ares, you
Yeah.
think of
Cersei.
Cheetah. That's it. Outside of that, because she's such a universally capable hero, she can be involved in anything. So Cheetah being one of the characters that is most closely associated with her, I am definitely interested in seeing the two of them interact with each other, the dynamic they have, why why the transition takes place and whatnot. And Kristen Wiig, not somebody that I initially would have thought in terms of a villain. Like, all I've ever seen her do is comedy. I can't even think of like drama for her. So, I figured, okay, she'd be funny, she'd be quirky. You know what I'm saying? And she'd be one of those people that, because that's kind of the way that first trailer presented it, where she was like this real mousy type woman, and then for whatever reason now she's like the cheetah, and she's all in charge and in command, and it gave me a lot of Michelle Pfeiffer vibes, thinking back to Catwoman, and so of course I'm like, if that's what they're gonna do, I wasn't. I've kind of seen that done. Looking at it now, it seems like there's a chance she's really going to play a good villain, a good counterpart to Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. Because if you catch it in that trailer, when she gets ready to do that little bracelet thing, she was like, and did like a little corkscrew, and you could tell that Wonder Woman was about to get punched in the face on that one. Like,
Yep.
and for whatever reason, everybody's seen now the gold armor with the wings and everything, and straight from the comics. But that outfit, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's some heavy duty armor that she has on. And why Wonder Woman all of a sudden needs some heavy armor? That means she's actually like, she's having a butt whooped. And I can't wait to see Kristen Wiig do some damage. So I'm kind of looking forward to that.
Gotta give Gal Gadot a shout out for lassoing lightning, because that's one way to make an entrance.
Right.
Like, it's kind of impressive. Like, they've found more uses for that lasso than I think I've ever conceived. Like, I don't think I've ever seen her do anything more than like, you have to tell me the truth now, and that was about it. Now we're seeing she's like, actually, no, I take that back. She used it like a whip in the game Injustice, but that was it. That was the only other time I saw it be something other than a lasso. But she grabs things, she can pull things down. I've never seen her swing on it. She has a jet. She's got a jet, and we see that Trevor's gonna fly that jet. So that makes me wonder, what kind of tech does she have on this jet? Could it maybe turn invisible? Maybe? Maybe?
It looks like they were
Oh.
stealing that.
She made a mention. She's like, they have radar now. He's like, well, shit, because easily she could have been like, oh, press this button.
Right. Yeah.
But see, maybe he was just saying like, oh, don't worry, I can fly so that they can't see me. And she's like, well, radar's a thing. And he's like, oh crap, well, da 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 da. But then she could be like, but don't worry, and press this button, and then so it's still available. It's still available. I just point out she's got a jet.
Right.
I'm just happy I got to see Cheetah, like Cheetah, instead of that. That was the biggest thing. I got that little glimpse. I was happy because when she came in, she did a little walk in the little White House or wherever. It's like, all right, cool. I see her kind of getting rough and kind of making the transition. But then I got the little glimpse of, hey, she actually makes the transformation. I'm like, okay, I'm in. I'm all in for this.
I had Sam's exact same reservations. The only time I've seen that actress was Anchorman 2. And I'm like, she's hilarious.
Bridesmaids.
How is she supposed to be a main villain?
She is hilarious and stuff.
I remember her from Bridesmaids, so that's all I can
Bridesmaids,
think
I do too.
Speak with Me Too, Sausage Party.
But see, like, if there's a voice actor, I won't hold them to their voice acting when they do something live action. I'll give them that benefit. Their voice may be like, oh, that's so and so, but I wouldn't hold Patrick Warburton to just being Joe Swanson. Actually, I probably would hold him to being Joe Swanson. But I mean, like, okay, you know what? He wouldn't be Krunk. I wouldn't automatically assume that his character in a movie is gonna play like Krunk because he's live action, and like, I give that difference. So for her voice work, that's one thing. But like I said, I still associate her. You say Kristen Wiig, I immediately think of Bridesmaids, and
Knocked Up.
I'm just like, yeah. we getting the girl from Bridesmaids. Okay, I get. Hey, Patty, do your thing. You maybe you know something I don't. I like the first one. Let's see what you can do. And happy for Patty
See,
Jenkins. Did you all catch a little segment with uh,
Rock.
Serena with Serena Williams and Patty Jenkins?
Yeah.
That was actually a fun little conversation, and somebody was telling me that there was a part where Linda Carter showed up.
Yeah, Linda Carter showed up during the first part, and then they had a little like one-on-one with Patty, Linda, and Gal. So like that, but yeah, because she showed up to ask a question, I think, and it was like a surprise question or something like that. But it was Linda.
it was planned.
Yeah, we all know. Surprise question.
Right,
I,
right.
I got to go back and find that segment because that was one I didn't get to see. I'd heard about it, but I didn't find it. So I'm sure it'll be available somewhere. But
Okay. Oh, Lawrence has a question. He's asking what was the weakest announcement at the DC Fandom?
The weakest announcement.
I can't even
Black
say if
Adam,
it
probably.
really.
You said which one?
Black Adam. That was the only one where there was minimal footage shown. I mean, hype for The Rock.
Oh.
It's about time to do the character justice, but
Right, right.
such minimal stuff was dropped.
Well, I mean, they're probably figuring The Rock can cover it just because it's The Rock and his name. They're probably going to announce more later, but
On the part 2 that Brian was talking about.
yeah, I don't know if it's the weakest just because we already knew it was coming.
Yeah, I
And-
think the weakest one would have to end up being for me, Titans.
Yeah, see,
And the
That
reason
one did get thrown under the rug.
because they gave too much away. So like we know Red Hood and stuff like that, but you didn't have to give us that. Like you could have alluded to it, you could have left us up, but you gave us too much up front and stuff like that. And I don't feel like I don't have a lot of hype for it because like now I know what's already coming. Whereas I already knew about Atom Smash and stuff like that, but the JSA period is coming so that I didn't know about Hawk. So that I didn't know how they were going to do it, so how they're going to plug it together. So it still gave me a little bit of a surprise and stuff like that with Black Adam. But I think Titans was the one that was the lowest for me.
yeah, I might have to go Titans. I can't say Black Adam just because. I mean, the hype's going to be there for who's in it. So I mean,
The Rock sells
say,
tickets. Period.
Yeah, period. No, but you could put him shit. See him in all the movies he's been in. No matter what the movie's about, it's going to sell tickets. It's just who he is.
I saw Faster. That one was pretty good. What was the other one that was like just like Faster but wasn't Faster?
Hobbs and Shaw, was it?
The Rock is basically the same person in every movie.
Every movie.
Like, it's been a long time since we had somebody that could do that and pull it off, and we keep going to see it. We expect like so much versatility out of people now, but The Rock is like,
That charisma, man.
just put The Rock in a situation, and that's what we want to see. We want to see how The Rock would handle this. What would Dwayne do? You know what I'm saying? And like, that's pretty much what we go to see. Because even with Black Adam, listening to him talk is like, I literally thought that was Hobbs that got locked up. It wasn't like somebody who was the leader of a nation at any point. I was like, oh, they locked you up? Is Statham coming to get you? Like, I wasn't. It's so funny because it's like I really want to hate on The Rock, but it's like I'm gonna be there to see it because it's him. So it's funny to me that it's just him, and they almost don't have to show anything else. They can literally show a drawing, a concept art,
I mean,
and say this is
think
what
about
we
it.
were
They
thinking
literally
about
showed.
doing.
They literally showed us the poster with The Rock, and that was it. And people was like, "Yeah, we going to see it." They don't care.
We got, you know what? I feel like we got more information before the trailer than from the actual trailer.
And that's where my disappointment stems from.
Right.
I wanted more.
Right. Okay.
You
You
just
want
can't be
too
happy,
much.
can you? Damn
You
it.
just
No.
want too much.
I'm needy. Give me what I want, and I want it now.
Oh,
Right.
hey,
See,
quick
even
question.
even Denisha says it did sound like him talking in Hercules. You're absolutely right. Where he did that little opening monologue. Yep, that's what it was.
Okay, okay. Quick question for you. Now, when they talked about a Static Shock, did they say that they're thinking about possibly making the movie, or that they're definitely
It's
in the
WB is in
process?
talks, is what's been told.
Okay,
Is that WB
okay,
is in talks?
okay. So basically, that is a definition of a tease. That they're just
Right.
talking about it, and it may or may not
They're
actually
putting their
happen.
feelers out to try and gauge how much we want that movie, and based upon the five of us, I'd say we all want it.
We
I
all
can't
want
see
it.
anyone saying no.
We all
Yeah,
want it.
yeah, yeah. I agree. I mean, it would be nice if they actually said we're actually moving forward with this movie instead of saying, well, we're talking about maybe making it. We're not quite sure yet. We just want to tease you and, you know, potentially disappoint you in the future if we say no. Just put it out there and so that you guys know that we may or may not do
You know what? I think given the success of Black Lightning being a surprise hit for them, I think that's what's got them talking about Static Shock. I mean, of course, they've talked about Batman Beyond. So, given that some of the storylines that existed from Batman Beyond included the episode where they had to get was it the villain Kronos or something like that, the guy who had the little
Right.
time machine belt,
Yes, one
it.
of the
Right,
greatest
right.
episodes of
and
all of them.
when they jump forward, one of the main characters there is Static. So, I mean, again, one of those first interviews, Jim Lee was actually talking about how they are able to do. They have a whole section that just does television, then they have a whole section that just does animation, then they have a whole section that does the movies, and all of those people, they kind of reference Jim Lee, but they don't necessarily have to get approval from Jim Lee. Usually, what happens is they're sitting there talking about their ideas, and then he comes in, he's like, well, so and so could do this and be a part of that, and da da da, and then that just gives them something else they can add. They've talked about all of these different characters that they have, and they did specifically mention that they are looking to bring more awareness to characters. Static Shock has actually just announced is it a new digital comic? Hold on, because I just had it up a second, like literally before the call was here. So maybe I can find that real quick. But they're just announcing like a new digital comic for Static, and yeah, IGN is actually the one that reported the Batman Long Halloween animated movie. All the changes. Round three. There's Colin Farrell talking about him and how unrecognizable he was. Ahsoka Tano. Yeah, of course, if I wasn't looking for it, it'd be right there on the phone. But Static actually has a new digital series coming out, and that would be a good way, as they're talking about bringing this awareness to the character, to actually put that, go ahead and plant that seed now. Drop the digital comic, see if sales pick up, show him live action somewhere, see how that does, and then boom, next thing you know, he's got a whole movie.
Okay, okay. Wishful thinking. Fingers crossed. Hopefully, we get that film.
If
That
Static Shock was announced, who would you guys want to see portray the
I
character?
was, I was thinking about that exact same question to ask you guys just now. Um, no idea though as to who I would cast in it. Give me a minute. Let me think about it. All right. Sam has his finger up.
You got Sam.
Oh, I thought we were about ready to give our answers.
Oh, you
Yeah,
want to give
yeah.
yours?
Boyega.
Oh, okay,
Ooh.
okay, okay.
Hmm.
I could see that.
Oh, an established Static.
Oh, so you want the older one? Because I was thinking maybe
He doesn't have to be too old, but yeah, just like
uh
cause that's what I'm
the
trying to figure out. We going like
the
starting out Static? We doing origin Static, or we doing
Did
They
y'all
probably
see?
would have to do Origin.
Did you see Moonlight? Ashton Sanders. He might be a good one if we're doing a young one.
But I mean, like even then, like how young? Because Static was in high school, so
You want me to throw out mine?
what age?
Yeah,
What you
what's
got?
yours?
Yeah.
Who you
Yeah,
got?
sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Donald Glover.
I can't
Ooh.
say no. Like,
Because he would play the Origin very well.
Well, now if we're talking
okay, if
a young Static,
I'd about to say if we do Donald Glover is
it has to be older.
he would be the older Static. Maybe start off with Donald as Static,
Evolve into Boyega.
do a flashback to his origin, let that be the movie.
Okay, what about if we're gonna do the preteen Static, the guy from Stranger Things, Caleb McLaughlin, whatever his name is. You know what I'm talking about? Caleb. I know his name is Caleb. I mean, he fits the age,
Yeah.
and he's not a bad actor.
You're right.
I could.
You're right. You're right. I could see that.
I just.
I could
You know
possibly
what?
see that.
I mean, he's got
Somebody
the attitude.
call his agent and tell him to start growing his hair now.
Oh, he could hit the barber shop and get one of them sew-in dreadlock weaves and be good.
No. We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
I'm saying some of us don't have that choice.
I could,
He
you
might
know,
just have-
like I could see Donald Glover doing it because, like, when he shaves his beard off, dude gets real young in the face.
But if we're doing an established Static, he needs to keep his beard.
Well, if he's adult Static, then yeah.
Save for a couple scenes, grow it out for the other ones.
Sure.
I mean, if they do that though, they could have him do both roles where he's got the beard and maybe have it twisted off. His hair is just all you got to do is like just kink that up a little bit, and then he goes and shaves and gets all neat and trim, and he becomes Troy from Community again. And there you go. Now you got a younger Static and his whole origin story. But he can't be Troy because that would be just a gross abuse of powers there.
Well, what's his face from Atlanta? Only one to the right by your hand. That one's chipped.
Right there.
Okay, who's talking right now?
Because it doesn't secure it.
So Static would be a good one. Somebody else says.
Okay.
Somebody else agrees. Donald Glover. Okay, good with that.
Okay.
Will, you got yours? You get yours in?
One of the ones that popped up as far as look goes, Leon Thomas III. He played in a lot of Victorious was the show or something that he played on.
Andre.
Right.
He'd make a good Static.
Well, wait. My younger son called that out. I didn't just know that off rip. Okay, I wasn't just a fan of Victorious like that. Yes, he was right there, and he pointed out Andre. But yes, I do know the character you're talking about.
Okay.
He can work. He's definitely got that look, like you said.
He's got the look and stuff like that, and I think as when he was younger, so he displayed a lot of the same similar mannerisms and stuff like that. So, I mean, I think it could fit stuff like that, but I don't know his range as far as acting talent goes and stuff like that. So, I just kind of seen him in passing a couple times because I got kids.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Brian,
All right,
last one up.
You know what? I'm probably gonna have to go with Boyega. Yeah.
It's not a bad choice. It's not a bad choice.
Yeah.
I would not be disappointed.
Yeah, I could definitely see him doing that role. Definitely see it. Now, I know that Sam was kind of trying to stay away from Justice League Snyder Cut, but we can't talk about DC Fandome and not at least spend 5 minutes
Oh no,
on
Oh,
that
how
It's
great
story.
it
going to
was.
turn into an hour.
Well,
That's
you
a
know
doozy
what?
of a topic.
Because it was
Okay, let
that
me say
great.
this: we are at the 1 hour mark. We're at the 1 hour
Okay.
mark now.
All right.
Brent, how many other items do we have on the list?
We got everything but the Snyder Cut,
So we've
as
covered
far as
everything else.
to my knowledge. Yes, I'm sure someone will say something along the way.
Okay.
I mean, besides Polka Dot Man and how great he is.
He's not getting a standalone movie. Come on,
Hey, Jaden, wait.
no credit for you.
This is going to
Just throw
break
this
off
one out.
into a solo game. He's going to get a
Jaden
solo
Smith.
game.
No,
I don't think he has the expressive personality to capture the character of Static Shock, but I think as far as looks and appeal go, he's a good fit. If he gained some of the weight he had back in Karate Kid, as a fat little kid, he'd be better. But where he currently stands now, he's
Are y'all getting this?
He's too muffled to be Static Shock as much as I think it would express. And I only really have that from the animated TV series.
That's
what
really
little-
all that's there.
From what little bit my memory can pull back from when I was a kid. But I don't know. I see Jaden being too deadpan as an individual to really characterize Static in the way some of us would prefer.
Hey, who's he speaking on?
That's my kid right there, ain't it?
Yeah, who's he speaking on?
Jaden Smith as Static Shock.
Oh, yeah.
No.
no.
I agree with his.
Group is like.
Look at his ass.
I mean, I don't think the suggestion was made seriously. I think it was literally made as a joke.
It was
just
floating
happened
around
that
on the internet. So
He responded to that before you all did, and he had such a good answer. Like, Jesus, I wanted to give him his
I
moment.
agree with him 100%. His acting chops are not up to par.
he ain't his daddy.
Nah. That's a good call. No.
If we get the younger Will Smith from the Gemini Man and put like dreads on him real quick, yeah, you got status.
He said, get one of the clones from Gemini Man and just put dreads on him.
I like Gemini Man. It wasn't bad for that. It was good for what it was. Like it was.
It was a good time user. I mean, it's not a rewatch at all.
You know what? That was probably the best 99 cent I've spent on Amazon.
You spent money on it? Oh, that's right. Yep.
It was on Amazon for 99 cents. I needed something. I was like, hey, you know what? Let's check that out. I have no problems with it.
Okay.
We were movie hopping at the time, so it was everybody knows.
I got you.
So, are we gonna wrap this one up and head on off to the Snyder Cut? Is that our next move?
I think that's what the consensus is.
That's what it sounds like.
Okay,
Sounds like.
Because we
I
need to
think-
sit here and tell how great it was.
I think what we should do, just to like make sure that everybody's good, why don't we wrap this one and we'll jump right back in. If y'all want to do it, we're good for another hour.
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh
All
yeah.
right, well,
We'll
we're
let
going
our viewers take a break. Everybody, now would be a good time. Re-up and, get the bathroom breaks, all that kind of stuff. For those of you watching,
we do need that.
we are just going to pause. So stay tuned. Actually, you know what? Because I forgot. I keep forgetting that I have all this cool stuff. We will be right back. So, take 5. Everybody, we'll see you back in 5 minutes.
Part 2.
That's from the back. Do not get copyright strike.
Snyder Cut.
Okay, well, hopefully it won't be an hour.
We have audio and
It's Sam an hour right there. That's about any sign out there.
Where's the bus about to run me over? I'm looking for it.
there we go.
I'll back it on up for you. I'll bring it back.
All right. So, welcome back. Thanks for joining us. We're coming back. This is segment 2. We were going to break it up into 2 parts, but we had everybody on. Why bother? Yeah. Let's talk about it. So, the Snyder Cut. For those of you who are not aware, get out of the rock you've been under. The Snyder Cut is finally being released as a 4-part series on HBO Max. So Justice League, Zack Snyder's vision, finally coming to see light.
Indeed.
And go.
All right.
Oh, it looks so
Okay.
much better than we first thought. Oh my God. I can
All right.
say now that people were saying they were not going to get hyped. They were just like, whatever. Okay, you can get hyped now because it actually looks like it's about to be about something.
If you're not hyped about a 4-hour movie where they literally said the whole intro fight scene or the outro fight scene is going to be 20 minutes long in of itself, I don't know where you've been.
And
Okay.
some of the reports that have already come through, some of the information that you can find that's been verified and validated, they have new images for, not images, but new character design for Steppenwolf.
Looks a lot better.
He's more alien-like.
He looks threatening. And Syrian Hines was a great actor, has that nice voice, can really carry it, and they didn't really seem afraid of him before. Now he actually looks a little threatening. Darkseid.
Young Darkseid, no less.
Both.
Because he's not
Darkseids.
shooting any Omega beams.
Both Darkseids, because it looks like they're probably gonna start with the younger Darkseid towards the beginning of the movie. I know there's talk where Diana is going to see some like cave drawings and stuff like that of him, and then towards the end, of course, when we have the big fight and everything, that's when we're probably gonna have, after Steppenwolf is defeated, Darkseid comes in. Basically, I should just do it myself kind of thing, and he's going to be there. We have a lot more Nightmare time. So that whole little segment where you had the Fallen Hall of Justice, the sand, the big Omega carved out in the sand, everything that took place with Batman and the trench coat and the evil Superman, we're going to have a lot more of that segment. And that Nightmare sequence was a really good sequence. And of course, since we have a little bit more information about the Flash, and we didn't talk about Flashpoint movie, well, it'll kind of fit with this. Since we have more information about the Flash and how that's going to work in the whole time travel aspect of Flashpoint, it fits right in that there's going to be a lot more Flash in this movie. There's going to be a lot more Cyborg in this movie. There's going to be a lot more, like, basically everybody had their time to shine, and it all got cut to fit the theatrical release. So everybody's coming back. Iris West will be back. We even saw that in the trailer. Iris West is there, and
Right.
Barry Allen.
Even
Russian
King
Precision.
Atlan got a moment. Zeus got a moment. There was a Joker card that flew by in the opening montage.
It's just so much that they showed that we wanted that we did not get. And I think just that in itself is going to redeem this movie.
At least to the understanding that there was a vision for the movie. It may not, some people are still going to feel some kind of way because it's Zack Snyder. Some people are still going to, okay, what just happened there? Oh, lost video, okay. Some people are still going to feel some kind of way just because it's Zack Snyder. And, I was looking at something the other day. Somebody was like, when are people going to realize Zack Snyder is America's version of M. Night Shyamalan? And there's a lot of Snyder hate out there. But this will be evidence that maybe he really was planning on doing everything he said he was going to do. maybe there was originally a plan for all of it, and I'm
Okay.
curious to see.
Um, okay. Yeah. I'm curious as well. I mean, I don't know if they're still working on special effects. I'm not a huge fan of how Darkseid looks right now. He looks too much like a video game character, almost unfinished. I'm hoping that they still are working on his look to make him look a bit better. And we can no longer even call it a movie. We need to call it, what it is. Now it's a miniseries. For them to basically break it into 4 1-hour segments to me makes no sense. It would be a lot better if it would just split into 2 2-hour films. And I think that would be a lot better versus what they're trying to do now. And Sam had mentioned, I believe it was yesterday in the thread, that it's possible that HBO Max is just trying to spread it out so that people can stick onto the subscription longer. And that's probably why they're doing the 4 separate hour long quote unquote episodes. And I'm really not about that. But you know what? Negativity aside, I did like seeing Iris introduced in the Snyder Cut, so that was cool to see. Um, I am curious to see how they're going to do Dark Side. I hope he does have some amazing dialogue. That's what I'm really hoping for. I want him to be threatening. I don't want him to just be a brute. I want him to actually be, smart,
Right.
calculated. So that's what I'm really hoping for to see in regards to how they handle Darkseid. I
I was
don't
kind of upset
have.
about the little dual blade because I feel like that's going to make a direct comparison.
That was a spear, wasn't it? I thought that was a spear he was holding earlier.
Was it? I
It
thought
was
the
a
image
it
I
was a
saw, it
spear. It was
looked
a
like he
one-sided
had.
weapon.
Okay, that would be good because it looked like he had that little helicopter blade of his own, and I was like, the last thing you want to do is have the
Please
exact
compare
same
right now.
weapon that they use. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't just bite directly like that. Play it off, make it look different. So I'm hopeful that that's a spear then. Maybe it have a little
Okay.
kryptonite
While we
blade
are
edge.
staring at your Superman hat, were you happy that you finally got to see your black Superman minus the mullet?
I
He
would
did
have been
not
even
have the mullet.
happier if
That
he'd
was
have
the
had the
only
mullet.
point.
I would have been even happier if he had the mullet. But the whole regeneration
Reign of
aspect.
Superman comics.
You know what I'm saying? The whole regeneration aspect, the purpose of the black suit, outside of looking cool. If you read the Death of Superman, actually it wasn't in the Death of Superman. It was in the Reign of the Superman, and
Right.
it was just after that. I think it was like the one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. It was like the ninth comic after his death. Um, they show him he's back and he has on the black suit. He isn't 100% yet, and of course they basically just talk about how the suit is basically like it's a healing suit. That's what it's designed to do. It actually is designed to absorb more sunlight and it picks up the necessary radiation to heal his body. It's done by his robots at the Fortress of Solitude, that whole bit. But it's always been an iconic outfit, and for them to just cast it aside, if you kill Superman and you do a Death of Superman, you have to bring him back in the black outfit. Period. Like that is law.
Is a legal copyright claim that must be
Right.
administered and adhered to.
It has to be done. You can't skip that. So I was very happy to see that. I like that they are going to change some of, like, basically everything that he had done in this movie was reshot by Joss Whedon, which is where the whole mustache issue came in. So if we have those original shots being used when he didn't have the mustache, and then maybe one or two lines of dialogue being re-recorded or whatever the case may be, I think we should have a lot of those original scenes, and they'll make sense. They'll be what they're supposed to be. Um, I think the one thing that I'm looking for the most, and Tony, you'll probably love this one. I want to see Martian Manhunter.
He is teased in the trailer, and he's actually in the trailer. If you
He is
go
in the
back and
trailer.
dig through it,
You have to just watch and pay attention. He is there.
Oh, I know.
because he's next to
No.
J.K. Simmons with the Batman symbol. He's just standing off to the side, and their original advertisement was "Unite the Seven,"
Right.
and Martian Manhunter would fit that bill.
But see, like, since we know the Harry Lennox character, the General, is supposed to be the one that is Martian Manhunter. When he came at the end of Man of Steel and he was talking and he had the little private with him or whatnot, and she was all giddy because Superman was there and he was talking about destroying the $1 million satellite, trying to figure out where he hangs his cape, whatnot. Like, that would have been the time for that reveal initially, since it was discussed that it was going to be, he was like, oh yeah, one other thing that was going to happen, he was going to do this. Like, okay, cool. And you gave me a glimpse of him? Great. You said you wanted to bring Darkseid. I've seen him. You said you want to bring Martian Manhunter. I've seen him. Now I want to see in the series how you introduce Martian Manhunter. How does that character play? How does he fit in? And does he join into the final battles?
The question that I brought up, or I'm currently trying to bring up, is after seeing what was put up for the Snyder Cut, how it would have affected Aquaman during the timeline directly coming out after that. Would it have been a better segue into his character, or how things would have played out that way?
You would have gotten some more topless scenes for the ladies.
Hey, if you gotta be in the theater 4 hours, you want something to look at. That'll hold my wife's attention. But I can actually answer that question because all I've really I could probably talk more about this because this is what I've read up and researched on. I like the games, great. Tell me about it. This, let's talk. Yeah, actually, it would have made a big difference for the Aquaman movie because Mera and what was the guy's name? Varric, I think, the one that was
William
trained.
Dafoe.
Volko,
thank you. Who is Varric? Volko and Mera actually have scenes that they've recorded for Justice League. And it's one of those things where it's like you kind of have to shoehorn where Aquaman is in relation to where we see him later on. When we first see Aquaman in Justice League, before he's had his own movie, he's already got the trident, he's got his armor and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's established. And then we go and we watch Iron Man, and it's like, okay, well, where's your trident? What happened? And they don't really clarify, you know what I'm saying? It's one of those things where it's like you really, really, really have to pay attention to know that timeline and know where everything fits, because I don't think they did a very good job of explaining when that movie took place. So here it is, you've just seen Aquaman full on battle. He's got his trident, you know what I'm saying? He's all cowboyed up. And then you get to the Aquaman movie, and now all of a sudden, is he?
He's just drinking by the ocean.
Right. Like, does he know his heritage? Does he know who he is? Like, how's that work? And it would have been a better segue because it would have already, they could have just basically expressed and explained why he's there and how he got to that point. And then it would have made it clear that the Aquaman movie was basically a flashback. That these events took place before these events. And so it helps to clarify that timeline, and that by itself, because if you watch Aquaman currently as a standalone movie, it's fine.
Oh yeah,
If you watch Aquaman as part of the DCEU, it's all conflicted because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't fit. The timing is wrong, and then it's like, it's literally like your video game where you start off at the beginning of the game and you're super duper powerful, and then when you get to the first mission, all of your powers are stripped away and you have to get them back, and by the end of the movie or by the end of the game, you have all your powers again. And that's essentially what the Aquaman movie did.
We're in Knights of the Old Republic.
You know what I'm saying? Or take any God of War game. You start off, you're like, you've got all the skills, and then everything gets stripped from you. You got to spend the rest of the game getting it back. You know, and that's essentially how the Aquaman movie played out. So not having those scenes cut would have made a difference, and I think it would have segued best for that movie. It would have done it. I mean, it wouldn't make a difference for Shazam. Obviously, is that still a standalone, bruh?
It's my
um,
cameo.
when you speak, that's fine, but otherwise, come on.
I feel like the speaking would be worse than walking by.
So a lot of those scenes that are being put back in do clarify, and they do kind of fit like little puzzle pieces to the rest of the DCEU.
Because if you dig through that trailer, King Atlan and then some of the Green Lanterns can be poked through here and there in the big old battle, like way back when he first showed up for them boxes.
Now, the lanterns were in the they were in the theatrical cut. So the lanterns have always been an option, and we're just really waiting on them to do that movie.
They
In the,
alluded to that back in Man of Steel with freaking with Ferris in there.
yeah,
Make an animated suit. Let's go. Round two.
Stop it.
and that brings up that other point because Flash is going to have a lot more in this movie in the Snyder cut. Well, again, in this mini series, you're right. We can't even call it a movie, but in this mini series, since he's going to have a bigger role, the only thing I want them to do is fix his running. If he could just not
Look,
look,
man, leave that man natural run alone.
if
He's
he could just not
Frozone.
look
Just
goofy,
leave it.
if he could just not look goofy when he runs, I'd be okay with that.
I don't know. I mean, we saw the trailer. He still looks like he has that same run.
I mean,
Look, maybe the suit is making him run like that. You don't know. You don't know how it's made.
well, then I will be very happy come Flashpoint where he gets a new suit made by his boy Bruce Wayne
Hmm.
that looks like it's gonna actually have, um, it's got some CGI lights and stuff going through it, so it looks like they've got it set up where I'm watching Will do the run on the playback. Um, he's going to have the lights incorporated, so maybe the Speed Force we will actually see that go through his body, and it may not have as much of the electricity flying around him because I kind of feel like you can't really disguise your movement if you're going to have that much lightning flying around every time you move. It would stand out too much that you've got all this lightning around you and like nobody would notice that. Even if you did get over there and back, like why are you covered in lightning right now? So hopefully they do a little bit more to kind of explain who he is. And granted, with the Flash, that's one of those characters that he's been around for quite some time. He's already had one TV series back in the '90s. Um, John Wesley Shipp, who I've met, really cool guy. He was the dad on Dawson's Creek. For those of you that don't know, he's also Jay Garrick on the current TV show The Flash, starring Grant Gustin. Um, so I mean, the Flash is a well-established character. Kid Flash, big part of Teen Titans, and no, excuse me, Young Justice, big part of Young Justice. So if you watched any of that, the Flash family has been around, and he's always been a major character. A lot of the big events that have happened in the comics have kind of revolved around him and the things he can do because he was the first one to actually introduce the multiverse, and I can credit um, the actor that is playing the Flash. He was doing flashbacks during his little Q&A session. Um, but the first time they talk about the multiverse is Flash of Two Worlds with Barry Allen and Jay Garrick, Flash number 132, I think it was. So maybe we don't necessarily need the full origin story for the Flash because there's enough information there. Just like I swear to God, the Batman better not do an origin story. Like I don't even want to. I don't. Do not talk about the parents at all. Don't do
You don't
it.
want to go down the alley? Not again.
You know what? He can like be driving in the Batmobile and just like slow down and look over
You
and
see the
be
street
like,
sign says Crime
you
Alley.
know what I'm saying? Like that's all we need. Let it be an Easter egg. I don't need a 10-minute segment. Jeff had made the joke. How many pearls are actually in the sewers in Gotham? Because they have killed those parents so many times. So it's like the Flash, his origin isn't really that I say that interesting, but it's kind of like what's his origin? Some chemicals spill on him, a lightning storm. Now he's got the Speed Force. You don't need to see that. You could literally have that in a conversation. There it is. Maybe that's oversimplification, but that's all it is. So they need to give more about why anybody should care about this character. What is his motivations? Like that, and that's really the whole. A lot of the content that is cut is that type of stuff. Cyborg. Cyborg was made by a mother box, and that is a very important aspect of that character. And they don't. I mean, they give you like a 20-second clip to show you that happened, and that's it. And then it's just like, oh, well, I can communicate with this. Okay, 2 seconds ago you didn't even know what you could do, and now you're flying and you've got guns and your body is making you shoot Superman, and it's like we need to see him grow and learn who he is. We need to see the Flash do more than just go visit his dad in jail. We need to know the reason his dad is in jail is because his dad is being convicted for the murder of his mom. We don't have to do a full origin story, but give that character motivations. You know what I'm saying? That was the biggest issue that a lot of people had with Batman v Superman. Why are y'all fighting? Mail fraud? That's why y'all got beef? And y'all friends because your mama's name is the same? Okay. So the Snyder Cut just has to do a better job of establishing these characters, humanizing them, and making us care about why they're fighting. The Flash has a reason to fight. Cyborg has a reason to fight. We already know Wonder Woman's reason to fight. You know, Batman owes it to himself to do the right thing because he
20
helped.
years later.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's right. It's been 20 years and he wants to finally make a difference. And we'll get to see Superman come back from the dead and do something different. I'm excited. I'm excited for this movie, this miniseries. I got to get used to saying that. That sucks. I don't want to say that. I want to say movie.
I mean, we watched all watched like Lord of the Rings, so I mean, what's 4 hours compared to like 3 hours 15
It's
minutes?
not a problem. That's why I want it. Like I don't want to watch it in 4 1 parts. Like that's gonna piss me off more than anything. Like
Yeah.
I will sit and ignore the shit out of everybody until all 4 parts come out, just so I can watch it in its entirety. Like this shit's
At
gonna
the
bug me.
and again, like Brian said, we talked about it already. At the very least, it should have been, if I'm not mistaken, and somebody got a second, pull it up, see if you can find it. I honestly want to say that Justice League was supposed to be a 2-part movie.
It was.
It was.
It was supposed to be 2 parts.
That's why it's a 4-hour cut because it's two 2-hour movies. It ain't hard. Why are they making it 4 1-hour movies? 4 1-hour
Marketing.
segments.
That's why.
They just want to
Look, I
make.
don't.
They just
They
want to
can
make
make it
sure.
60, 30-minute episodes for all I care. I'm going to sit in front of it. I'm going to watch it. I mean, they do it for almost. Look, think about Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. You had
Actually, you
3
know what? Just
episodes
go with
of
Game of
Goku
Thrones.
screaming.
Give me 1 hour once a week for 10 weeks.
I don't just make it happen. I'm going to watch it just
If you got
because
that
of
much
what I
content, put it
saw.
out there.
I'm going to watch it.
If the content's good, I'll be there.
Right.
Justice League could literally be a series in and of itself. Like that could be the next Game of Thrones style series. You may not be able to keep these same big names, so you might have to go the unlimited route and use a lot of B characters and have a cameo every couple episodes with, Henry Cavill in this episode and maybe Gal Gadot in that episode.
I
Just
mean, would you? I
just
would
kind
turn
of
in to see
walking in the
Shining Knight.
background. Say what?
I would. I would turn in to watch Shiny Knight just to ride around on his horse, stabbing folks.
Yeah.
I would.
You
I
know
would.
what? Speaking of Shining Knight, check out Stargirl.
I've watched Stargirl and I am pleasantly surprised.
You know what? I was telling my daughter, I was like, you know what? I think you may actually like this. I like it because of all the comic book stuff in it, but it's got just enough teenage drama to keep you interested too. But it's actually got like decent action and
It's actually pretty good. Now I do like. I don't know if we want to switch to Stargirl from the great Snyder cut that's coming out.
oh no, you brought up
But
Shining Knight.
I'm saying it was part of Justice League Unlimited. So
Correct. And
so
I'm
I
thinking
like.
all things Justice League.
So
Well,
I'm like I
Stargirl was
do
in
like.
Justice League Unlimited.
I when it first started, I didn't like how they did the JSA, but then as it got on, I kind of understood why they did it. I don't know if that makes sense, but the way they had to bring her around, it had to be done. Now
Yeah.
I don't agree with the team selection. That's still kind of like, and just because these are children and they're not the experienced vets that they should be at this time, and you got them going against the injustice. Come on now, that's just not right.
The only person that's really like the only thing that's really disappointed me was Sportsmaster.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted a little bit more out of Sportsmaster. Now the actor who did like he
I
did as
mean,
much as he could. I'm not
dude,
gonna front.
his scenes, he was kicking everybody's ass.
No, I'm saying like
He was doing it.
he
He was doing it. Now, come on, now I can't let you get rid of that.
I
Nah, he
needed the
was.
whole outfit though.
You can't have the whole outfit. It's impractical. It's impractical. What he had on was fine with what he needed to do. He was killing them kids. Come on now.
Yeah, he was.
And he was talking trash the entire time like he was supposed to. And he was laughing at them, which is what he's supposed to. They are children. He was
But
playing with them.
you got Cheshire and you got Sportsmaster right there. I needed the whole like hockey mask bit. I needed the Casey Jones look.
No, 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 no. You can't do that. You can't do that.
Oh well.
Did he actually kill any of the kids?
Nah, but he fucked them
No.
up a lot. I mean, a lot. It wasn't even funny what
You
he
know
was
what?
doing.
Let me say this.
Anakin would be disappointed.
He tried to kill the kids. No, 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 no,
He
no.
did.
Let me say this. It wasn't like he was just toying with them. It was gonna like he tried to kill the kids.
Yeah.
It just happened that he did not kill the kids. But there are dead kids in the show. Don't get it twisted. Like
Yeah. They
kids have
have killed
died.
high schoolers. Them high schools are dead.
Stargirl.
So, yeah.
I thought you were saying boys, and I was like,
Oh no.
Bringing this back around, Brian. Wait, no, Will. Your thoughts on the Snyder Cut?
I wasn't hyped going into it. I wasn't necessarily hyped coming out of it. Like, I do think there's going to be interesting with that. Like, but I'm just not hyped for it, and just because of the model that they have going for releasing it and stuff like that. Like, I'm just kind of like, all right, well, it's got some stuff that's going to fill some gaps. Stuff's going to make a little bit more sense than what we saw. Because, I'm not gonna lie, I trashed the shit out of the Justice League movie and stuff like that. Like, it had parts that were good. Don't get me wrong, but like the continuity was off. Like I said, it just didn't feel, fully fleshed out. So I'm really
Right.
hoping that this will finish fleshing it out for me and stuff like that, and then I can come back and say good things about it and stuff like that. And if possible, like, and I will, the people who are on Snyder's ass about this stuff, like, if I think the film, is good, better the way he cut it and stuff like that, I'll go to bat for him. If it's not and stuff like that, then freaking, I can see why people are upset. But I'm kind of, wishy washy either way. So like that, I just want to see what happens at this point.
You just mad it's cut in a segment. It's not a movie. That's all you hate.
I mean, that's the only thing that freaking I have a negative feeling about. But I know that because of what it is, so like that I'm still gonna watch it because we still gotta, have shit to talk about too. So
Now here's a question, and I pose this to the group. Do you think the 4 1-hour segments will negatively impact the viewing experience.
No,
Yeah.
I don't think it will. If it's cut right,
If it's cut, yeah, I gotta say, I gotta agree with Will. If it's cut to where it's suspenseful and brings you back to see what happens in the next episode, then it won't be a problem. But if you get to a point and then you end it and you're bored, you it's more likely that you'd be like, I don't even care anymore.
The reason I ask is I wonder if you were to take a 3-hour movie and cut it into 2 parts, do you have to simply pick a scene where you're going to stop and then pick back up from that scene, or do you write it to be a cliffhanger each time?
I mean, not to Marvel jump, but they did it the best way they could have with Infinity War and Endgame. They didn't. They just kept it going. It had to end right there. You're like, well, half of everyone got wiped out. I got to see what happens if they're gonna come back or not.
it was a big enough thing that had you invested. Like, okay,
Right.
no, I don't give a damn if it's a year away. As soon as tickets are available, I'm pre-ordering and I'm going. Like,
And I get that, but see, that's also my point. Knowing that if Endgame and Infinity War had been one 4-hour movie, would you pick the same scene to stop? What if instead of it being two 2-hour movies, what if it was 4 1-hour episodes? Where would you cut in the first movie?
I don't think it would have had the same gravity. And so
No.
And that is my question.
That's
Exactly. Yeah.
If you take this 2-hour movie, part 1, Justice League part 1, and then Justice League part 2, now you have two 2-hour movies. You take a spot right here and you say, boom, this is where we're going to change, and this is first movie, this is second movie. You set up the cliffhanger so that you get people just enough invested that they want to come back and they want to see the second part.
Right.
My concern or my question, I guess, is almost, do you think, because like if Snyder knows going in that these are going to be 4 1-hour segments, is he altering even more what he has so that he can now
He has
leave
to.
on a cliffhanger
Well, yeah.
3 times in order to deliver?
he doesn't have a choice because you look at how the content was. Like, everybody wanted the Snyder Cut released that was screaming for it, so like that. And he was like, yes, just release it, so like that. I was expecting them to do a straight to freaking DVD, maybe a limited release in the theater or whatever, so like that. Here's the whole thing. If you want to see it, this is what it is, and just make it a big ass one shot, freaking make as much money as we can. Here's everything, blah blah blah. But because of how he had to go about doing it, I believe that really had an impact on his editing process and what he needed to do to recut certain things to make it fit within the parameters that I'm pretty sure that HBO Max has laid out. So that, like, this is how we want to do it. Like, we'll take the whatever, so that and get it on there, but you got to make it so that we can do it in 4 segments and stuff like that to make our money and stuff like that. And he's like, okay, cool, we're getting it out there, it's happening and stuff like that. I'll do whatever it takes to make sure that people see the work that I've done. So let me just go back in and figure out how to break it down. And that's why we're not getting it till 2021, because the Snyder Cut was already done and ready. We have it this fall and stuff like that. There's more stuff that has to be done to it. It's why 2021. It don't say when in 2021. It says 2021. So it's like, okay, he's got to finish doing whatever he's doing with his team to make sure that this thing is right.
First quarter, maybe it'll be Christmas. Who knows?
Will Snyder get a pass if the 4 1-hour cuts don't live up to the hype?
No, there is no pass.
Even with
I don't care.
everything that DC gave him?
No, because here's what's going to happen.
No.
Here's what's going to happen. The Snyder Cut's going to be released, however it is, and stuff like that, in about a year or so, and stuff like that. What's going to happen is it's going to be a freaking Blu-ray with the full-length Snyder Cut in all its fucking glory, straight through, for sale somewhere, or only on HBO.com or some shit, whatever the hell, that has the entire thing lined up without it being the 4-part miniseries. That's what I see coming. It's going to be a whole thing. We're going to eventually get the whole thing. They're just not giving us the whole thing right now. They're going to give it to us in pieces. Here's a piece of blah, blah, and then he's going to come back afterwards. So after whatever time is up, whatever their exclusivity or whatever the hell, here's the whole thing. My shining gem. This is what it is. You can buy it for $35 in this collector's edition set, whatever the fuck they want to do. I don't care.
See, and I believe personally, I believe that the fact that it's already being, we're finally getting the release. That was what we wanted. I wanted to see it, so I'm not gonna lie. That's coming out. That's a good thing. The fact that it has to be broken up into 4 parts, that is actually going to be damaging to the final product, because I don't think the Snyder Cut was originally designed as 4 1-hour segments. So now we're holding him to a standard that I'm not
Attainable.
Not let me say a standard, because he's already on thin ice as it is. We're holding him to a particular expectation that he's not even in position to deliver, because he's not giving us the Snyder Cut. We're getting the HBO Max version of the Snyder Cut.
And that will detract from it, which is why I said yes. Because unless you can provide me enough great content in 1 hour to make me come back the next week or next month or whatever they're going to do, without a previously on the Justice League, why am I going to be able to keep up with that every single time, you know? What kind of cliffhanger are you going to be able to give me in 1 hour that's going to be like, all right, you know what? I'm coming back next week.
And see, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked at all if it comes out, it gets, you know, it gets a handful of viewings. You know what I'm saying? It's popular enough that enough people are going to watch it to warrant it being there. And one thing about it, it's on HBO Max. It doesn't matter if 5 people watch the first episode or 50 people or 50 million. That part's not relevant at that point. You know what I'm saying? It's there. HBO's already paid for it. Warner Brothers already done their bit. That's where it's going to be. Now, if you want, maybe you do it like you do Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, HBO Plus, Max, whatever's available now. And you binge it. And you sit and you watch 4 episodes back to back to back to back. And you skip the previously on because it was just what happened in the previous episode that you just watched. So you don't have to do that. Now that means you've gone through and you've waited until all 4 episodes are available, and you sat down and you did like Will said, and you ignored everybody for 4 hours while you watched Justice League, the Snyder Cut 4-part miniseries in one sitting. Do you get a different experience than somebody that watches 1 episode per week for 4 weeks?
Yes.
You do.
Yeah, you do.
And that's what's going to end up happening to me. Like, I'm probably going to end up watching each one as it releases, and then when we get down to the last one, I'm going to go back and watch everything all over again so I can watch the 4th part, just to make sure that freaking I got everything, the continuity stayed away, because we don't know the release schedule. If it's one every month, if it's one every 3 months, so that we have no idea what they're doing for the release schedule.
I'd be
They
so
can drop it all in one
If
shot.
they do 1 a month, man, I might cancel HBO for that.
It better be 1 a week, just one good.
Like, at least,
one a week.
I'm gonna
is
wait till it's all
pushing it.
done though. And
you know
see.
what? At least every 2 weeks. At the very
No,
least,
no,
2
no.
weeks.
No. Once a week. I
No,
can't do
people
2
are
weeks.
screaming for this shit. They just need to drop it in 4 parts and people can watch it at their leisure. If you want to sit there and binge fucking 4 hours, then you binge 4 hours. If you don't, then shut the fuck up, move over, and let me do it. Like, I don't got time for, you know,
Tell them how you really feel. How
I
you
don't
really
got
feel
time
about
for the
this?
casual person who just wants to sit down and watch it. This ain't Game of Thrones. This ain't none of this shit. This is shit people have been screaming for the fucking longest. We've been waiting for the Justice League to hit the big screen in the correct way for the longest. We don't even know if this is the correct way, but this is the closest thing that we're going to get to some real DC shit that we're supposed to have than that bullshit we got on the screen. So fuck it. Drop everything. Let us watch it how we want to watch it and shut the fuck up.
Damn.
And while
Hey,
you
with your
at
chest.
it, Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, I want y'all to stop doing this weekly release bullshit too. I want all my episodes every Every time you drop something, I need all my episodes. I'm with you, Will. I'm with you. And literally that is my concern. I think that when it's all said and done, like you said, Brent was asking, will he get a pass? He won't get a pass. He won't get a pass. It doesn't matter how it gets released. It doesn't matter how people watch it. He's not going to get a pass. These 4 episodes, whether they were binged, watched weekly, watched monthly, however they release it, better be the shit.
You know he's gonna hide behind HBO took the reins out of my hand, so we had to do it this way. If
That's
it
why
doesn't live up to the hype.
The Blu-ray is coming later down the line because then he can say, "This is what it was supposed to be. This is what I wanted for you all guys about that. Please go out and spend this extra bit of money to get this version of it because this is the real version. This is it right here." It's like
as if DC fans haven't been waiting long enough. Let's wait for after the TV
How long
release.
have you been waiting? This is ridiculous that we've had to wait this long to get quality. That's all we want.
That's what everybody wants. I'm not even the biggest DC fan, but I want quality across the board.
I mean, you want quality?
You know what? And we're also assuming that it will be quality. I mean, hopefully it is. Yeah.
But
you know
no,
what?
he's
Hopefully-
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully it will be, a quality production, but there's no guarantee of that. So we could be waiting all this time for absolutely nothing. It could also suck.
And I will say there's definitely the potential, given that at the end of the day, we've already seen a lot of this story. It's not as though we're about to watch 4 hours of something completely new.
that's not what I've been given. What I've been given is that we've only gotten 25% of Snyder's actual cut.
That's what he said.
That's 75% content that I have. That's 3 fucking hours worth of content.
That's
that
3 episodes.
I haven't seen.
That's 3 of those episodes.
So it's like
that's 3 of those
something's
episodes.
got to give somewhere. Like I need this to be freaking on the up and up. Like what's fucking get? Because again, we've been waiting freaking almost 4 years and stuff like that to get 4 episodes. I ain't got time for this shit.
I definitely wish they had just dropped it and made it a single. They could have did a single 4-hour movie in the theater, maybe paid $20, and that would have been my Rona movie right there. Like real talk, that would have been my Rona movie.
I'd have bought every seat in the theater just so I could sit and watch it in peace. Like fucking bullshit.
Like
I mean,
you know what? I want to
if
see.
you
Tenet.
got it like that.
I want to see Tenet, but the Snyder Cut would have been my Rona movie. No,
I would have hosted a Grown A Geeks event straight up. Like freaking nah, all this shit out.
You know what?
Straight.
We'd have been in on that. I am totally with that. I am totally with that.
I'd have snuck in all the concessions.
Here's Tupperware, fried chicken, and freaking goddamn
I'm
biscuit.
saying,
Hey, pass the potatoes.
We have a buffet, macaroni and cheese, collard greens, good
You
southern
know what?
style
Let's just
food.
get the event catered. We just gonna get it catered. How about that?
I know caterers.
Matter of fact, you know what? I'm having
My cousin,
I'm having
my cousin's he's a chef.
As soon as this thing actually drop, we may have to get us a projector, a screen, and get some time. Because I mean, from the looks of it, we're looking at least next year sometime.
Mm-hmm.
At least next year sometime. And who's to say that we don't just get together and watch this thing as a whole?
Coronavirus.
I mean, I'm seriously thinking about doing like a screen. Like, if I can't do nothing, to the level that freaking I would love to do it for the Grown Up Geeks, I might put together a small event. It'd be like rent out this particular freaking studio and stuff like that. Freaking, I got seats for 30 people. I've fronted the bill for HBO Max or whatever the case may be. Like, hey, we got if it's all released in one shot, so that like, look, we got here. Who wants to get in on this? So like that, set it up.
I can find a projector easily.
Oh, I already got a projector.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, that we can take care of that.
I got the speakers.
Now, see, we got audio, we got video,
We got
got
audio.
hosts.
I,
Man, we gonna make this thing happen. You know what? We gonna make this Justice League party right regardless. Okay.
Who's on drinks? That's what I want to know.
I make the drinks.
Oh.
You know what? I get Chef Ashley Bertoni. She's one of the Grown A Geeks. I get her to come cater the thing.
Hey, we can get, it's Corey. He does like bakery stuff.
Yeah, I was about to say we'll get Corey to do the cakes and stuff. He'll get all our sweets. We got geeks to take care of all of this stuff. We got enough geeks to handle all of it.
Brianna makes some t-shirts and stuff, some custom stuff.
That's right. You know what? I
Wait,
did
who?
say that I would talk about not my cup of tea, who made this mug. If you would like one of these mugs, I do have them available for just $15. That's if you want one, because they're not for you. But if you just have to have one for yourself, I will part with them for $15. You can have one.
If we get enough orders, we will get them in black.
First of all, you should go with black anyway because it's such a great shade.
It looks really good on the logo. I will say that. But this was the design that my vendor gave me, and this was the design I approved. I did not inquire if there were other color mugs because she does quality work, and I have about 4 or 5 other mugs and glasses in there from Not Your Cup of Tea, which you can find on Etsy. Not Your Cup of Tea. I'm happy with the mugs. Maybe my next order, I will get some black mugs. I will inquire if that is a thing.
You should get a red one for Will.
You already know. I was thinking it. You already know.
I got you, homie.
Well, see,
We got to look out for each other.
It's a beautiful mug either way.
Look, I've already looked into how to change all of these to customize them individually. So, like, this could be, like, this part here could be gold, and that could be red, and that could be yellow, and that could be red. And then that would just be a whole Iron Man logo right there. Or perhaps maybe we want to do a black, a yellow, and a black right there. That way, you know what I'm saying, it's sitting on the yellow, and you got the Batman symbol. Or, of course, y'all know for me, I want my mug to be blue. Why do I want my mug to be blue? Because I want it to be
like
red,
the
yellow,
ocean.
red.
You like the ocean.
Aquaman. That's why you want to.
You know what? While you tripping, I bet an orange and green would look good. How about that?
It would.
I bet it would look good. This is such a fantastic looking logo. It's such a great looking logo that I think any color scheme would go well with it. And you know, maybe we'll get some hats, we'll get some shirts. I don't know. We'll do some things. You talk to me, somebody set up a Patreon, y'all put some money in it, I'll make it happen. Anyway,
let's make sure everybody follows the YouTube page.
That is correct. Yes, thank you. Thank you for reminding me. If you have made it to the 2-hour, 9-minute mark, first of all, we want to thank you for watching this video. We're glad that you are here. We are Grown A Geeks. With me tonight, I had Tony, I had Brent, I had Will, I had Brian. You can see the QR code down in the corner. Click that, and you can actually find our group on Facebook. We are Grown A Geeks. You can also find this video on our YouTube page. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow us. Click the little bell so you get notified every time we upload new videos. Not only do we have this type of content coming, we will have random discussions coming up. We will have 5-part series of what we think top 5 should be. I know we've got a whole sports segment getting ready to pop off. And on top of that, we like to play video games, so we're going to load some video games up there too. So, we are Grown A Geeks, and this is the type of stuff that we do. Appreciate you joining us tonight. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow us, click the videos, and we are going to let me load the screen up real quick so I can have it ready. Are out of here. Thank y'all for watching.
Polka Dot Man. Polka Dot Man.
Polka Dot Man it is.